monster. I hate what I've become. The nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within. It's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster.
Hello everyone. Welcome to this brutally honest review of South Park, The Fractured But Whole. I'm going to start this off by disclaimer, because I have to do this. I got the game for free. I got a free game key. Take that for what you will. Understand that I was not given any money or anything else, just simply a free game key. Now, moving on. How do I feel about it? Well, for a start, you can turn this review off if you're not a fan of South Park, because you're not going to get the game. Like, it's not going to win new fans. It's not going to make new fans. If you have not watched South Park before, or if you have watched South Park and you are not a fan, not your game. Just go ahead, leave. I totally understand. However, for everybody else, how does it hold up against Stick of Truth? Well, the combat system in comparison to Stick of Truth is a bit deeper. The story's shorter, not longer, which makes me a little sad. You have a smaller map, and overall, it just kind of feels like there's a lot missing. And I think that's because they've planned DLC, whereas Stick of Truth was built as a whole game up front with no planned DLC. And in my opinion, that honestly makes the Stick of Truth a better game. Trust me when I say this, you're not missing a whole lot if you own the Stick of Truth and don't get this one. All of it's still fart jokes. Just honest, it's all still fart jokes. Like, there's no huge revelation or massive change. There's a lot more customization, and you can pay, yeah, I said pay for this, to bring over all of the customization from Stick of Truth, which seems dumb if you own the first game. You should get it. There's also 3 planned expansions and 4 cosmetic DLCs, and I'm like, you're just trying to get people to pay for a season pass at this point. So, could use some work. Combat system wise, it's based loosely on the Stick of Truth combat system, except for they remove the whole Japanese style JRPG in favor of a system that relies more on movement and fluidity. It's less about constantly equipping new items and more about making sure that you just get things in the right position and do them in the right order. Also, it has the same basic principles of you have taunts, you have shields, you have abilities that make you invisible. Just all sorts of little knickknacks that you would expect from a superhero game. It's all here. Like, every bit of it. No questions asked. Lastly, it is kind of harder. Like, the combat is genuinely harder than Stick of Truth, because there are some enemies that will just beat you down, and you can't do a lot about it if you do your combat sequence wrong. Moving on. I should have described this. The map's smaller. I mean, you get to go to Dr. Mephisto's lab, but we lost Canada. Also, there's fewer side quests, like significantly, stupidly fewer side quests. And the social media system is Instagram instead of Facebook. Just letting you know. I kind of have an issue with how small the map is, because basically from the U-Haul over. You get the U store and U-Haul Center, and anything to the right of that is just gone. Like, Canada's gone. The farm is pretty much pointless. The Lost Woods are gone. Kenny's house you visit like once. And that's it. Like, that whole section of the map is just chopped off. And then on the other side of the map, the one thing that's been added is Dr. Mephisto's lab. And you only go there once. And it's a straight, you go there, you complete your quest, you leave. You can't come back type of deal. Whereas I go back to Canada and just have fun. But yeah, there's so fewer side quests. There's so much less map to explore. Kind of hard to justify $60. But then we get into the DLC system. I'm already upset about this. There's day one DLC for cosmetics. For the Stick of Truth cosmetics. For a game I own. Fuck you, Ubisoft. Fuck you. Go away. That should be something I get for free. As illustrated by Creative Assembly in Total War Warhammer, where they're like, oh, you own Total War Warhammer 1? Okay, we're going to make a map that includes all the races from both games, and you just get to have all the ones you already have. And all your DLC works. That's how you bring in old stuff from the old game. That would motivate more people to buy this game. Instead, you want me to pay $5 on top of the 60. Nope. There's also talk that the true ending to the game is locked in DLC that will come out later. I don't know whether that rumor is true, but we're going to get into the story now. The story is South Park. It's fun. It's unique. But I have an issue with it. Whereas the other game, the story kept escalating and escalating and escalating. And it was this constant escalation until the hill bent back around and expected you to keep going up. Like, it genuinely was a continuous escalation of the situation. And it really was a grand finale. The story here is an escalation up to a point, and then it just kind of flatlines and peters off. And it doesn't keep going. The final fight is shit compared to some of the other boss fights you've been through. I'm just straight up. The final fight sucked. It could be taken out of the game and it would lose nothing. That's a problem. The final fight is almost a humorless, joyless tie-in. It literally just sucks. It's like playing through Mass Effect and you first time playing through it and then you get the ending for Mass Effect 3 and you're like... And that's what it's like. It literally just... And I'm like, this can't be the ending of this game. The other game's ending, like... You had to top it, and you didn't. You failed. You failed to top the ending. The mall under construction you didn't even use from the previous game to this game. And you took out so many extra locales that we had last time and only added one. You did not put in nearly enough side quests, nor are the side quests very difficult. In Stick of Truth, you could die because of side quests. You have a single moment of quick reflex or die at the very beginning of the game. You have a single QuickTime event, which means you shouldn't have even put the QuickTime event in the game. Like, you shouldn't have done it because there was no point. Um, so overall, this game is drastically inferior to Stick of Truth. If you already have Stick of Truth or you haven't got Stick of Truth yet, go get Stick of Truth. It's better. It's more fun. It's longer. And you will get significantly more enjoyment out of it. If you already have Stick of Truth, and unless you were chomping at the bit to get more Stick of Truth-like content, you're good. Like, you're good. Wait for this to go on sale for like $30, $30 to $35. That's maybe $40. I might have paid $40 for this if I had a choice. But right now, Stick of Truth is $30, and you can pay $4 for the extra DLC. Whereas Fractured Butthole is $60. There's $7 of DLC already in game, and there's a $30 season pass, which means they're expecting the DLC to cost more than $30. On top of the fact that they have a gold version for 90 United States dollars, and you get the Stick of Truth, the season pass, and the game. When in fact, you could just go pay $30 and get the better game. Also, the advertisement fully dubbed by Max and Trey of South Park. Both games are fully dubbed by the voice actors who play the game, who do the show. You should give credit where credit is due. That is not a feature. That is an expectation based on the previous game. And yet here it's a feature. And you don't even tell us that the voice actors, that is shafting the voice actors. I'm just going to say that. That is flat out shafting the voice actors. And I can't get behind that. So again, this game is not worth $60. It's worth $30 to $40, depending upon your feeling of it. It's shorter, and the story just peters out. Like, it's just... Also, the last concluding thought I have is, fuck you, Play! Like, and that's the first curse word I've said this entire time in a South Park review. But fuck you, Play. It sucks. Please stop. Like, no. I really feel like this game should have been given back to Obsidian to do properly, because it would have been a better game, because they did the first game and it was amazing. And adding on Uplay on it, that kind of made me gag a little bit. We have Steam, Ubisoft. We don't need Uplay. I'm telling you that now. We have Steam. We don't need Uplay. In the meantime, that's my entire review. Hope all of you found it satisfactory, and hope if you guys found it satisfactory to your tastes and standards. I have to go work on panels. So I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.